Hi, Muskin Adversary here. I'm going to be doing this as sort of a follow-up to reaching out to haters and victims, that video. We can't be everyone's hero or let alone see everything, but we can do our best to help those in need, see both sides of the story, and realize the truth. But don't sacrifice or trap yourself in a loop. Your life matters too. This goes in line with the fact of the matter that I made a lot of videos, mostly on the Sonic93 drama. People will probably beg to differ and say, oh, you made it all about one person. No, I didn't. I talked about a lot of people who jumped in. And a lot of people love to avoid and pretend the context and evidence are not there. In different situations, they do that. It needs to stop because you're lying to people that, oh, this is the narrative. No. Why are you lying? When you gaslight and you tell a lie to even your viewers or fellow fans, you are weaponizing them. I don't do that. I'm not accurate on everything in life, but I don't sit there and weaponize people to believe what I'm saying and get likes and stuff. The thing about it is that a lot of people jumped into the Sonic93 situation, and some of them were weaponized victims. Some of them were kids being weaponized. And a couple more, they had nothing to do with the situation, but they were parallels of the folks that were being hit by hate because they face hate themselves. And then we have the I Stand With Vic and Kick Vic stuff. So to anyone who sees this, do not go after anyone that's listed, whether they're a victim of hate or someone similar or an accuser or a hater. Please don't, because I will read this. I don't support haters or false accusers, but I do care for the humans within them. There's the saying, actions speak louder than words, but let it be known that words are also the biggest spellers and liars. Words can either point out, block out, or even distract from context over actions. I am making this video as a means to wrap up on some drama topics because people will choose to lie, deceive, and manipulate even their own fans, viewers, and peers over the truth no matter what. It's like the truth doesn't matter until someone gets hurt. And when they do, many grow silent, pretending, oh well, they had it coming. Or, I never knew them so. But if you care, why be selective over whose life matters and whose doesn't? I was once told by a relative to let a suicidal individual die. That, along with guilt trip I faced in drama, caused me to wear myself out over the Sonic93 and Voice Actor situations. I was used, not by everyone, but I was naive, and like many viewers, my lack of awareness on some things was taken advantage of. In regards to the very large amount of Sonic93 videos I've made and the playlist, I knew her behind the scenes. Her family knew of me. I interacted directly with one of them. Sonic93 once expressed doing something unknowingly suicidal in the past, jumping from a high place, but was talked out of it by family. This was in voice call. And I did not want her to also end up like someone who went missing in the Vic drama, a suicidal victim I failed to stop. So when we had our fallout, quote unquote, I was left blaming myself over her flipping out on me when she gave into the hate from accusers despite how harsh I was. I've had ties with many suicidal individuals, some who cried for help, while others manipulated with suicidal threats. And their situations played a role in me making a ton of videos. I've been afraid of people generally paying less and less attention to victims, and more to both entertainment and propaganda, especially through politics. If you notice this right here, that was a fail on me, but whatever. With all that said, to anyone who cares, please do not blindly believe me. If you are a fan or a friend of Goth Nebula, Sonic93, Vic Mignogna, Monica Riel, Yoshiri1, or Akai Jane, aka Cobalt Sky 39. It wouldn't be fair to you or the accusers, regardless of who is lying and who isn't. Context, evidence, and investigations are important no matter who you do or don't like or support. Think for yourselves and please don't give into favoritism. some of you out there might be like, hardly anybody believes you, man. I mean, there's some people who don't have to hit the like button. They still might believe me. They could be skeptical, but it doesn't mean no one believes me. There are people on my end who talk to me. You don't know who does and who doesn't. But anywho, just because I'm a small channel doesn't mean I'm worthless. But going back to this, I use this image that I found online. I think this is Barry Allen, because I get the flashes mixed up sometimes, because I feel like Barry, or I feel like Wally. I'm running, trying to fix things, trying to help people. A lot of us are like that. And then we get stuck in a loop, or we got some stuff following us, and we kind of ruin ourselves in the process. So yeah, people are telling me you can't help or save everyone, but you can do what you can do best. And I want people to know that. Don't waste your life trying to help someone so much. You can be there for them, but you can't do everything for them. Keep them in your thoughts at least. Do what you can. And here we have these kinds of fools in drama. These aren't the only types, even though I'm using Dragon Ball characters, but a lot of folks act like, oh, I step into drama, I gotta have some fun, and then I need an invitation of some sort. I'm gonna make an invocation that, oh, this person is harassing me, even though it's not true. So they lie and play that role, and then they weaponize folks on the side. Then you have a standstill where they're both arguing and they're not paying attention to victims, especially. I stopped talking about you, so we're good, right? Water under the bridge? Let's just forget about this, okay?
No, I'm gonna be an asshole and talk about you now.
Bad fan dub aside, I'm going to move on to something that might disturb people. Just to warn you, it's going to be about folks I met online, folks I've been friends with, who have been suicidal. Some, if not just a couple, who were guilt tripping me, and others, while others were actually crying for help. This is actually Sonic93 and me. We were talking about haters, who basically didn't care about committing suicide, about anyone committing suicide, according to Sonic93. She expressed that they wouldn't give a damn. And I kind of disagreed. I already talked about this in the other video. But when we get there to this part, this is what I want to talk about. And then I'll talk more about Sonic93 later, because she had said something that put me on a guilt trip. Right here. Victims can do this. Victims can lash out at you, and they can even repeat things that were said to them. This is me right here. I'm going to read this later. This person right here is someone who was about 17 years old at the time. I met them. We were in a group. Other fellow adults were there. And this person was being harassed by a pedophile. And they had Stockholm Syndrome. They said to me in this group, I'm just asking because I'm starting to not feel comfortable with Blink again. Of course, this is not the whole conversation. This is me leaving the audio. They say, ... please don't say I need to not trust Blink anymore. I said I didn't. Left another audio. I said Blink threw Blink under the bus. That's what I'm saying. They go, he always does that. Like how he thought I was bullying him. I said, oh my God, I can't stand what he did to any of you. Blink, you deserve to be free and free from him. They said, I thought coming back to him would be better. I lied to myself. I left some audio, and then they said, I'm feeling the big S word anyway. And then I left more. They said, can you please type, please, at my school? I go, I will type, but I will pin these and need you to listen when you get the chance, okay? They go, okay. I say, you have so much to live for. You are a human being. You deserve free will. They go, Blink throws anyone under the bus. Then says, because he wants people to feel his own pain. I said, I fucking despise that. People are capable of feeling others' pain without being forced, manipulated, and slandered. Does he not know what sympathy and empathy are, especially when he needs to be real with us and himself? They said, I feel he's using me. I say, honestly, Blink, he is. And he was using you against Blink and technically against us to ease his way back to you. They said, he's attached to me again. I go, yeah, and I am so fucking pissed because he used all of us technically. They say, he tried to turn you guys against us and even me. I'm like, yeah, tried to turn us against Blink, and Blink especially. All because he wanted you back. All to himself. He spread lies about you and hurt you because to him, you're a trophy. They made a reaction. I said, I want you to be able to get through the day. We should talk later. I don't mean to distract. They say, I'm not busy anyway, but honestly, I'm like, I see. You all deserve better. They say, he's honestly wanting attention to himself. Me, he wants fame and the unhealthy kind, huh? They, yeah, and it bothers me. I'm really sorry, I said. They go, I don't get it. He's gonna lie. I say, you are better than Blink. I try to be better. You are, and you always have been better than Blink. You have a heart. Because I have feelings. Then a friend of mine, another friend said, Blink is just a sick fucker. You, Blink, are an absolutely amazing person. And if Blink tries anything or does anything to give red flags to you, let us know and we'll deal with it ourselves. You are our main priority. Keeping you safe and comfortable matters most right now. And if I find out that Blink does anything predatory to you, there will be hell to pay. I put triple dots, basically, not quoting, but I forget what that means. Giving them, like, some type of support, but whatever. I'm on edge with him still, they say. I said, understood. They say, I don't feel comfortable at all. I say, we feel you. It's so messed up. We want you to be free. This is the Vic Mignogna situation. I'm going to talk about this after this. So, in regards to Sonic93, this has nothing to do with her, but the fact of the matter that Sonic93 kept going to Moondisc, someone I exposed in my videos, and she kept saying things that lined up with she needs him. She didn't say those exact words, but she's like, he's like the source of helping her to clear her name. She also said Moondisc abused her. So when I go here, she basically agreed with me or didn't even disconfirm what I was saying when I said I'd be enabling him to do shit to you, and that's not what I want. Because she was agreeing with me. Yet, she sided with him, so to speak, and took things out on me because she was desperate to clear her name and get away from the hate. And at the same time, she did expose his face to me and other things, which kind of put him at risk, which wasn't good. So, moving back, if you are a victim of someone or if you are experiencing Stockholm Syndrome, please call for help. If you know of anyone who is going through that, please call for help or help them to get out of it. It's not safe. Now, for this situation, I was talking to someone from I Stand With Vic, and I said, anyone wishing harm on Monica, Mars Girl, I stand with Vic losers, anyone who is, this is not the whole conversation, it's at the very top somewhere. They said, well, she said, I have called them out. Vic has said anyone who does that type of harassment is not a fan. He cannot control them anymore than I can. We can make petitions or a statement in a stream. We can spread awareness and question Twitter's lack of damage control. Those are his fans, the ones getting hurt, and the ones any of his fans hurt deserve to be safe too. I was speaking up for I Stand With Vic and Kick Vic members that are getting hurt. Petitions don't do shit. The stream has no idea what's happening on Twitter because the majority don't go on there. Me, there were suicidal ISWVers and possibly suicidal KVers. I can't just leave them. She goes, if you feel a petition will help, go ahead. Whether I say something or not, Blink will accuse me and continue to verbally berate me and Vic. This is way more about safety, Blink. How can I help protect anyone if we can't fight for everyone's safety? You mean being an empowered bystander, stepping in even if the abuse or harassment is not directly affecting you. Am I correct? I am talking about me. I can't save you or anybody if I don't have what I need, and I'm trying to help you and everyone. We are in danger because of the toxicity. There are things we can do by putting aside our differences. A bystander can stop harassment in 3 ways. Number 1, engage in the harasser like let's grab a drink or simply knock it off. Number 2, they can reconnect with the victim. I saw what they did. Are you okay? Number 3, they can file a computer harassment complaint on the victim's behalf. This is not the whole thing, but this stuff would not help all the time. Seriously, it wouldn't. And it wasn't working in that situation with the voice actors getting attacked and other fans getting attacked. We tried our best out of the folks who were taking it seriously because there were other people who were weaponizing folks to attack, to fight. They were inciting violence, inciting harassment. And this person was kind of overwhelmed by it all. But they were not a suicidal victim themselves, but I did mention they're a suicidal victim in the situation. So they're still relevant. What do they have to do with Sonic93? Nothing except for the fact that there were people playing sides in the situation, mostly against her, and they were turning a blind eye, while some were thinking, oh, basic methods are going to help diffuse the situation when it didn't. This person right here, they guilt tripped me with suicide. Sonic93 did not guilt trip me with suicide, but she accidentally guilt tripped me by insulting me and saying all kinds of things for me. But here we go. It was the only fucking gift I gotten, period. He even asked how I was doing, she said. I'm just going to throw it away now. And do you feel it was thrown back in your face? I don't know. I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't want to feel anymore. And this stuff right here. Next time on Big S. I'm not saying shit, period. And I can't. Who it upsets? If they don't care, I don't give 2 rats ass. I would have seriously helped you regardless, but you kept throwing my emotions and my presence away, I said. Nothing I did mattered. She goes, I'm just confused and hurt because people say suicide is selfish, yet people force others to stay in pain just for their personal reasons. She's right about this part, but not in regards to the intent of telling me. She's in the process of trying to guilt trip me more. Even though her situation at the time was still serious. It's not selfish by default. It depends on the reasoning. But it is never good to commit suicide. I mean, I'm starting to feel worse now. I don't know. I mean, maybe I do deserve it. I'm basically self-explanatory. I said, do you want anyone to help you? She said, yes. I mean, no, that's me. She said, do I even deserve help? I said, yes. She says, Why? Because from what I'm being told, I guilt tripped you. So, yeah, I don't know if I don't deserve anything from anyone. I said, did I give you a judgment or death sentence? I told you what you did to me. I didn't call you the worst human being on the planet or a monster. You're not even close to what that blink prick is to me. He's a fucking monster who kept apologizing and slandering me no matter what until he saw he couldn't get what he wanted. Even threatened to have someone shoot me by lying that the person threatened me when that friend of his doesn't even have anything against me. I'm talking about someone else who guilt tripped me and another person with suicide. They were manipulative, but at the same time, I called them out in a video, and I did reach out in another video because I still cared about them. Now, before I even finish this person I still talk to, and they haven't brought up the suicide stuff anymore, at least not for a long time. This is someone who obviously deleted their account at some point, and they were another guilt tripper. I said stop. This is actually, this is a group meeting. I said stop. They say, I always talk of suicide, but I can't ever do it. I said, what if you get there? Then what? We just not expected? You need to talk to someone, at least online and through a text. They go, you'd all be safe. You'd all be free from stress. You'd all be happy. I'm none of those. I cause pain. I cause stress. I cause depression. I don't belong here. I don't belong anywhere, not even in this or any reality. I said, can you please fight your way to snap out of it? Shakes head. I did try to get like a hotline or something. I dropped it in the group before. And I don't know what happened to this person ever since. Ever since they were causing a lot of trouble for people in a server. But I do hope they're okay, because this isn't me right here, but this is another person that was trying to help them in the same group. They say, it's going to be okay. Don't hold me. I'm sorry. Deleted user left the group, and I think somehow they came back. I just want to help. It's over and self-explanatory right here. No, I would not let someone I care about commit suicide. Don't give up. I have nothing, deleted user said. I'm going to talk about this gentleman soon, but this person was trying to guilt trip people over a relationship problem. Something that wasn't going well. And I'm not saying everybody who has relationship problems and feels suicidal is using someone. No. This person in particular was, because every time something happened, they wouldn't listen to us. It was like the end of the world for them. No matter what, they wouldn't stop feeling a certain way until they got what they wanted out of someone I met in real life. I'm talking about a honorary sister of mine. She's transgender, and we went to the same place, basically a social place, and I knew her in real life compared to this person. But this person made like internet relations with her. Right here, this is someone I met in a server. He is a pretty kind gentleman, LGBTQ, and he was going through so much. And I start by saying, it doesn't have to, I didn't start by saying, but this is what I have right here. It doesn't have to be this way. Come on. He says, if I were to try to restore things with my one ex I miss, I'd get slammed with the harassment lawsuit and just do it faster. I said, I ain't letting go, dude. I'm not letting someone lose their life. He says, there's no point in saving me. I'm not savable, for fuck's sake. It's too late for me. I said, what about what you did for me? He said, just let me die in peace. I don't know anymore. I'm sorry. I said, come on. That means something. No, dude. Please don't. I have seen him on my social media. We're friends still. I haven't talked to him in a long while, though, because there's stuff that's been happening on my end. But I do hope to check up on him because I haven't heard anything about him feeling this way. Things did work out after this part. But if you feel a certain way that things are going downhill for you in life, you need to talk to someone. No matter what, just talk to someone that is willing to listen to you. If they're not, I'm here. Please, people, if you see someone or hear someone screaming suicide, even if they're threatening it to take advantage of you, do not hesitate to drop a hotline or something. And before I even talk about this, I'm going to revisit the Sonic93 thing. So, right here, I'm going to read it out loud. This video is right here. This is part 1, and this is part 2. And this right here is a reach out. Still relevant behind the scenes. Sonic93 right here, and this is me right here. In practical terms, you also put Mundus at risk. I didn't. I'm referring to the fact that she showed me his face and told me things about his relationship and stuff. She says, I have seen that you uploaded a video and I am extremely displeased with you. You went against my wishes and you have lost any respect I had left of you. I hope you're happy. Now can you please leave me alone? I am extremely sad right now. You have failed to be a good friend and to respect boundaries. Whatever the outcome, you would be responsible for it, as you could possibly give me more dirt to clean. You are not better than the haters. You're legit not better than anyone. You making that video will not change my thoughts on you. You're just showing more of how impulsive and impatient you truly are. I said, you're in denial. I had said, you left me no choice. You didn't answer my question. You projected again. I left audios and stuff. I did expose her because she was working with an abuser. And I'm like, I don't want to enable her. I don't want to enable him to do stuff to her. And this is what I meant by that. And she knew what I was talking about. Not only that, going now, I have the audio in both videos where she even calls out Moondisc as an abuser. So, to anyone who's seeing this, I had no choice, but at the same time, it probably would have been best if I had just left her alone and after calling her out and not try to reason with her, because she was taking things out on me, and at the same time, I did hurt her feelings. And I do apologize again if Sonic93 is listening to this. If a victim is acting a certain way and they don't want your help, you should probably go to another person that they may be willing to listen to, because she was being blackmailed behind the scenes and she was traumatized by the hate. And at the same time, I was guilt tripped by her insults and stuff, to the point where I felt like I was responsible for her being possibly suicidal again. And that's why I made a lot of videos more than I planned. So I do hope she's still around. Anywho, I'm going to talk about Akai Jane right now, because a lot of people like to use her. This is Akai Jane right here. The reason why I'm showing this in this picture of her is because this is another video. There are people who are possibly making videos, are talking about Sonic93 and Akai and Yoshi1 to this day. They will use their images and stuff in their videos or wherever. Sonic93's images on the Wikitubia still to this day. And the reason why I'm talking about Akai right here is because she is someone that was linked to the Sonic93 drama. And this person right here, they made a video in a different language. And I used subs to see what they were saying about her. And they were making fun of her and saying things about her, kind of like how people would jab Sonic93, but worse. And I'm just like, can people just leave Akai Jane alone? Seriously, you don't even need to include a picture of her in your video. You have because they have a picture of her in their video. I'm pointing it out. Leave her alone. Akai Jane also made a truce with Sonic93. This is Mundus' video right here. Both Sonic93 and Mundus were in this video. Akai was responding to both of them. Even though I pointed out that gem freak in my other video, that one right here, despite I wasn't full into problems between Ruth, Sonic93, and Amy, I still see the whole drama was filled with damn misunderstandings and misinformations. I know how it feels. Very, very bad. It hurts. I really regret I couldn't be part of this documentary. But the memories of drama affected my mental life. I still try to avoid any drama as much as possible. In short, I knew I won't be disappointed of your work, guys. Just make a hope it will be just good end of bad beginning. Great job. By the way, Moon, amazing job in drawing my Jane. Sexy chick. Now, yes, Mundus has helped certain people, but it doesn't change the fact that he also weaponized folks, and he took advantage of Sonic93. It's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde thing with him. And please leave Mundus alone. I'm not trying to ruin his life or anyone's life. And his methods of trying to help Sonic93 and other people, it still matters. This is the person I was talking about who made this comment like 10 months ago from when I made the video. And then they go on a different person's, what the hell? I thought, right here. They go on a different person's video. Someone who made false allegations towards Sonic93, and they posted this shit. And this is not okay. So I have this to say. For people who are still trying to go after Sonic93 and Akai or Yoshi1, whoever, if they happen to be guilty, you may as well say, I'm guilty. You would have shown concern, after first seeing my videos, you would have shown concern when I've met Sonic93 behind the scenes and stuff. You would have. You would have been concerned the moment you see me defend Akai Jane. What would you do? You would call the police if they're bad, if they're that bad and stuff. But you didn't. And if you're going to send a SWAT team at me, it's not going to go well for you. They're going to turn on you. So don't do it. I have law enforcement in my family, and I don't have a profile. I don't have a record. So really, if you're willing to lie to your fans, lie to your viewers, or anyone about me, you're going to be living a lie for the rest of your lives, and you're going to carry a burden. This is why a lot of the people who called out Sonic93 are in hiding. Same thing with folks who went after Akai Jane and Yoshi1. But anywho, did I forget anything? No, I didn't. Darkness Soul 71. I've already talked about this person multiple times. When it comes down to suicidal stuff, it's not okay. It's not okay to say something like this to Goth Nebula especially. And I know people were saying, oh, Goth Nebula, she was using this one autist who committed suicide as a scapegoat to cover herself because she's making excuses. And like, she's not making an excuse. She's pointing out the fact that it could happen to anyone, and that when you keep throwing hate at someone, you can drive them to commit suicide, and then you're forced to face consequences. That is the point with me talking about this stuff in this video. Then you have Bag of Deuce right here. They drew Sonic93 with a gun pointed to her head, or at least her self-insert, with Silver right here. Sonic93 was scared of stuff. She did not even want to deal with people like Bag of Deuce. But the thing about it is that when you do all this type of stuff and you have her family come on YouTube and come across this, how do you think they're going to react? You think they're not going to care? They're going to care. But do you care? You do technically care. You just don't want to care. You don't want to give it away that you care. It's like, oh, well, it sucks to be them. I did what I had to for the views, the 824 likes and stuff right here. Still counting today because you live off of likes. I don't. And then this stuff right here. How is this okay? You, Bag of Juice, fantasizing over Sonic93. And I put you here, so yeah. All this is self-explanatory, especially with Dunsville profiteering off of her, while Amy Chan and Zombie Spartan are pleasing the audience with what they want to hear, telling private stuff about Sonic93. That's not cool. And this stuff right here. It's not okay to tell someone to kill themselves and do this. Meanwhile, people ignored the fact that Yoshiri 1 was being treated similar. And they took it out on Sonic93 supposedly. Used her as a scapegoat and used him as a scapegoat. Pitting people against each other over these two. And these two similar images, they are uncanny. It's a setup. If you haven't realized it already, especially with this probably being in one or more videos, if this is not okay, why is this okay? If this is not okay, why is this okay? This is on DeviantArt. Why do people go on DeviantArt to bitch about somebody they don't like and do this stuff, huh? That's not art. Right here, this is how Sonic93's avatar looks, but they butcher her so much. This was made by Super Sprite 65, someone that Sonic93 used to be friends with. But moving along, this is the Wikitubia. This was, I would say, before they edited out this part. They had "she is Muslim" under trivia. And for what? You may tell me, oh, well, they put it there because that's her religion. No, there were people bashing her religion. Seriously, this is not cool. Oh, she's Muslim? But right here, these are not citations. These are references. And they are very much irrelevant to whatever content they claim they were trying to put on the page. You have to see for yourself because they've been changing it up. Now, I'm going to talk about this person right here. I am having a seizure. This is a very stupid name, inappropriate in all ways, because this person right here, Trent Walters, I think, yeah, they were harassing Goth Nebula, and they did pretty much virtually the same thing Sonic93 accusers did. They ran to somebody and wanted their response. They wanted them to be involved. They wanted to egg them on to go after their target. So the Lost Kennel has said to Trent, I know about the old Goth Nebula drama. I have been there since the beginning. Let's give a summary of Goth Nebula. Number one, she is a terrible writer for an adventure-based series like Sonic. She makes things more like high school romances than the adventure-seeking hedgehog we all know and love, like we had 2 games with adventure in the title. Come on. Number two, she is horrible at taking criticism in general, especially in her stories, and it's kind of sad. Maybe if she did take the criticism as a way to improve her writing, then as bullying, then she could become an amazing... Then as bullying? What do you mean then as bullying? Do you mean instead of bullying? Because are you accusing her of cyberbullying? Because there has been no proof of that. Instead, she told people, and there's proof of that, she told people she did not wish for folks to engage. She could become an amazing writer, but as it stands, she has not and even resorted to using her mental health as a scapegoat. Not cool, Goth Nebula. This is the pettiest time to use your mental health. I can't cover everything about her on this one comment, but you can go check out Dunsville's channel for full context on the old drama. I hope this can help you understand a little more about this. Here's the thing. People who bring up mental health are not always making excuses. Sometimes they're letting you know their limits. They're letting you know their obstacles and saying, hey, I struggle with this. What do you want them to say? Okay, and then struggle more? You don't want to know what's going on with them? So let me tell you this. If I met someone who had, let's say, PTSD like me, they're post-traumatic stress disorder victim like me, and I tell them, hey, so you want to go to the mall with me? And they say, yeah, I can't really do that. I don't want to do it. Well, I'm trying to teach you how to shop. You know, I want you to learn how to live on your own. And they say, well, I'm not ready because if I go there, it's going to trigger my memories. I have PTSD. I'm like, you need to grow up and go to the mall and get your stuff because everybody's living their lives and you're sitting here in your own house and you don't want to budge and you're using that as an excuse. That is victim shaming right there. Lost Kino, you victim shamed Goth Nebula. Now, moving on, I am having a... Fuck your name. You bring up Dunsville, and I'm tired of people bringing up Dunsville because I think a lot of times when you do that, Dunsville doesn't even like that. You are smearing his name even though he wronged Goth Nebula himself. And that's not cool. You're using Goth as a shield. All this stuff right here, you're being a fucking main character wannabe. A generic anime one at that. I have read this in my previous, in one of my videos. I'm not reading again. And then, right here, you have proven so much that you were trying to get her attention. You were harassing her. So I hope you're happy wherever you are. I know it's like old, but still. You did Dunsville proud, didn't you? You ruined his name, too. Now, I am going to read this. This is going to be the finale. Because these are the different type of people that were involved in the drama in the beginning. I'm going to go back to them. Naivety, selectivity, and denial are three distinct psychological concepts relating to how individuals perceive and process information, differing primarily in the role of intent and awareness. Again, these are the type of people that were involved in the Vic Mignogna / Monica Real drama, Sonic93, and other stuff. And I fit into the naivety category because there were some things I really didn't know, and people took advantage of me with that. Naivety is an unintentional state resulting from a genuine lack of experience, worldly wisdom, or informed judgment. A naive person is often innocent, trusting, and may fail to see warning signs because they lack the relevant knowledge or experience to do so. It is an absence of understanding, not a willful rejection of it. Now, the reason why I say I was naive is because there have been plenty of folks telling me what was quote-unquote happening in certain drama, and they will pull me in, or they will say things they will want me to hear, and then they will just watch me and act like everything is okay without telling me what's really happening. I did not like being fooled. I did not like being used. I did not like misjudging somebody based on what they were telling me. Selectivity, often referred to as selective perception or inattention, is a deliberate or subconscious focus on certain aspects of reality while ignoring others. This process is purposeful in that a person chooses which information to attend to, often to support existing beliefs or manage emotions. It can involve emphasizing positives and downplaying negatives in a given situation. This is the type of person, or type of people rather, involved in the dramas that I have been talking about. So is this type. Denial is a conscious or a subconscious defense mechanism involving a complete refusal to accept a known or highly probable reality or fact. Unlike naivety, lack of knowledge, or selectivity, choosing what to focus on, denial involves actively pushing away or dismissing the truth, even when presented with evidence, because the truth is too difficult to face. People in denial may create elaborate rationalizations to maintain their stance. This is what a lot of people, including Dunsville and other Sonic93 / Goth Nebula haters, have done. This is what people have done in the voice actor drama. It's too much. This is what people do in politics. So now I'm going to read this chart right here. Naivety. We're talking about features. Awareness. Unaware of missing information or context. Intent. Unintentional, a product of inexperience, motivation, innocence, lack of exposure, or an idealistic mindset. Outcome. Vulnerability to being taken advantage of or making poor judgments. I am not a super naive person, but the fact remains I have some of that trait. Selectivity. Partially aware of the information being ignored. That's part of awareness. Intent. Intentional or subconscious choice to focus attention. Motivation, managing emotions, supporting beliefs, or achieving perspectival selectivity. Outcome, distorted perception, maintenance of a limited perspective. Again, these are the type of people that were in the different dramas I was pointing out, as well as denial, awareness, denial, aware of the reality but refuses to accept it. Intent, willful avoidance or dismissal of facts. Motivation, protecting oneself from painful, threatening, or anxiety-inducing truths. Outcome, avoidance of responsibility, unhealthy coping mechanisms can be addressed in therapy. Now, I will say this. I have met plenty of people like this who would just dismiss facts because they don't want to give into their own anxiety and stuff. But they do it for the wrong reasons. In summary, a naive person doesn't know any better. A selective person chooses what to notice. And a person in denial knows the truth but refuses to admit it. Now, I will also say this. I'm going back. Come on. If Sonic93 happens to be a criminal by your definition, then you know what to do. I'm not encouraging you. I'm just saying by your logic, you need to provide evidence. You need to actually let people know. You need to let moderators know if she's still around. But if you don't, then you are guilty of slandering her. And a lot of people didn't do that. Actually, I don't think anybody has ever reported her. I could be wrong, but still, reporting someone simply is not the same thing as having evidence. If Akai Jane or Yoshi1 happen to be doing things up to date that you claim are bad and stuff, and you're talking about them, have a good reason as to why you're bringing them up. If they happen to be criminals according to your narrative, you know exactly what to do. But I'm going to tell you this. Leave them all alone. I've heard people call Monica Riel a pedophile. I didn't believe it before, and I still don't believe it. Despite me expressing doubts about her and calling her out indirectly because of people using me and stuff and telling me different things about her, even though there are times I thought she was enabling, it doesn't give anybody the right to go after Monica and ruin her. It's the same thing with Vic. Vic is not clean, but you people who went after him, you were not using appropriate methods. You were doing things that would have been deemed illegal. You were harassing him. Just because someone's doing something wrong doesn't mean you get to play Batman. I don't know. It doesn't mean you get to do things as bad as them. And when it comes down to Goth Nebula, I don't know if I mentioned Yoshi1 yet, but Goth Nebula, anyone who said that she is a bully, a cyber bully, if she's a cyber bully, then I'm guilty of working with her. If Sonic93 is a doxer and an abuser and all these things, then I'm guilty of knowing her. But here's the thing. You would have to let her parents know. You would have to let their families know. If you are that damn concerned, you didn't do that. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't mess with their parents. You're liars. You would have shown more concern if you were telling the truth. But instead, you kept telling one person, then another person, then another person, then another person, then another person, and then you jumped in endlessly. Oh, but you made us shut up. Because plenty of people jumped in. This isn't everybody. There were more people that jumped in. Even though some of these things don't have to do with the situation in Sonic93 or Goth Nebula. But I tell you this. A lot of this stuff happened during COVID. People were looking for therapeutic reasons to attack someone, to feel good. They were scared. I sympathize with you haters and false accusers on that note, that you were looking for some type of escape route because you were scared. But what you did to the people that you targeted, it could have been you. You're going to live with it for the rest of your fucking lives because you ignored people who were suicidal in different situations that you could have helped. But yeah, this is going to be supposedly my last video on it all. You may say, oh, thank God. I'll say, don't thank God. God has nothing to do with this. You chose to be an asshole. You chose to attack people. You hid from people. So don't use religion to back yourselves up. Anywho, as I have said before, or if I haven't made it clear, I made these videos, a lot of these videos, because I thought I had driven Sonic93 into a suicidal point. I was afraid of that. She didn't say it herself, but when I was trying to snap her out of it, and when I chose to expose what was happening behind the scenes, I think it could have had that type of effect on her. And I feel bad. That's why I made more videos than I would have. Because I wanted her to be safe. I wanted her to feel safe going online. And she's not the only one I care about. There are so many people I care about, including these folks right here. No one has the right to be afraid for life. No one should be pushed to being afraid for life. I mean, even the haters. If you want to go online and you want to talk to people, as long as you're not causing a lot of garbage and stuff, be free. But don't sit there and ruin someone's life all because you want to feel good. Anywho, I'm done until I make a collab with someone, I guess, because that's still on the menu. Last video for now. Muskin Adversary out. Oh, actually, before I do that, I want to talk to any victims out there who have trouble moving on. It's not worth being focused on somebody you hate or dislike. If that person ruined you so much, whoever it was, don't let their actions take over you. If you find yourself talking about the same person every day, you might have been traumatized for life. I don't know what else to tell you other than you deserve all the support you can get. You deserve to be free and hang out with people. But please, do not fixate on someone, or at least try to work away from that. I don't want you to be stuck. Now, I'm finished.